On a Wednesday evening, a paramedic crew responds to a call at a residential address to help a man dealing with severe schizophrenia. The man had reported being unable to leave his room because he believed someone was blocking his doorway.
Let me go past it. They're not gonna let me go past it. Somebody's there.
We're right here.
I'm telling you, somebody's at the door and they're not gonna let me go past it.
They wearing? What are they wearing?
They're wearing blue. But
good,
someone's
good.
there and they're not gonna let me go past it. Someone's at the door.
I need you to sit up, okay? Can you do that?
Listen, it's no need to apologize. Whatever makes you comfortable, okay?
Thank
We're
you.
here for you. Okay? All right? Is that okay? That it? Is that it? Are you okay?
At the very moment he's describing this figure standing in front of him, a clock suddenly drops from the wall without any warning. Now sure, you could chalk it up to coincidence, but given that the clock was firmly secured to the wall, things start to feel a little harder to explain. And the falling clock isn't even the only thing worth noting here. There's something else captured in this footage, and it centers around that doorway. The man in question is 23-year-old Cass, a diagnosed schizophrenic who is in the middle of a psychotic episode, and in a brief clip, he describes his experience.
Schizophrenia, you probably are not crazy. We're not crazy. People that have schizophrenia are normal people. My most common hallucination is seeing a shadow figure in doorways, like in any doorway. So think of any doorway in your house. My therapist and I do something called visualization dismissal. So I open and close the door repeatedly, and that kind of like scrubs away the...
This time, it wasn't a shadow figure he was perceiving. It was the image of a man. And what makes that detail particularly unsettling is that this same figure was reportedly encountered by his girlfriend 2 years prior in their previous home. It's worth pointing out that Cass's girlfriend has no diagnosis of schizophrenia or any other condition that would cause her to perceive things that don't exist.
Hey, what's wrong? What? What? There's nothing in there. What?
Her account of what she witnessed lines up with Cass's description in a way that's genuinely difficult to dismiss. Unfortunately, the camera angle here doesn't allow us to see exactly what she encountered. Luckily, a second camera elsewhere in the house may have picked something up. Over on Cass's own channel, he's posted numerous videos documenting his schizophrenic episodes. His GoPro makes it easy. A single button press, and he's recording even during moments of intense psychosis.
Is if the hallucination's like really strong and I am not even like making sense out of reality, I use this and basically I point it at the door frame or whatever I'm seeing and look at the screen. And if what I'm seeing in the door frame isn't on the GoPro screen, it's not real. Helps me calm down.
I'm doing really bad right now.
But there's one particular video on his channel that stands apart from everything else he's uploaded. While engaged with what appeared to be a hallucination, his camera catches something unexpected.
You always say the same thing. No. No. Quit it. Stop bringing that up. Stop saying that. You always wait till now to say that. Whoa. Alexa, light on.
At this point, he genuinely couldn't determine whether what he was experiencing was real, so he does what he normally does. He heads over to the curtains and performs his usual method of grounding himself, attempting to dispel what he assumes is a delusion. It turns out he wasn't simply seeing the curtain shift, he was perceiving a figure standing directly behind it. In a frantic state, he repeatedly pulls the drape open and shut, trying to make the figure disappear. But even as he does this, the curtain moves on its own again. What makes this so unsettling is that by this point he was no longer seeing anyone behind it, yet something was still causing it to move despite his efforts. And then, as if that weren't enough, the entire curtain rod begins to rise upward, lifting completely before crashing down to the floor. If the figures in the doorway hadn't already shaken him, this certainly did. To this day, revisiting that footage disturbs him deeply. What he had assumed was purely a hallucination had apparently left physical evidence behind, and that realization makes it genuinely difficult for him to trust what his own mind is telling him. It's part of why he rarely brings this incident up, but after capturing what happened recently, he couldn't stop his thoughts from going back to that moment. So could there be a real link between these two events, separated by years? Cass thinks so. But as always, I'll leave it up to you to draw your own conclusions. For now, this one stays unsolved. On December 13th, 2024, what began as a routine day out on the water turned into something a man named Mark will carry with him for the rest of his days. The footage was posted to a channel called Northeast Georgia Kayak Fishing, where the creator had been documenting his passion for the sport over many years. For more than 6 years, his audience had tuned in to watch his tranquil adventures across rivers and lakes, drawn in by both the natural scenery and the craft of fishing itself. On this particular outing though, Mark had brought along his longtime friend John. The two loaded up their kayaks, got their gear sorted, and strapped on their GoPros, fully expecting to document nothing more than a good day's catch. For the opening hours, that's exactly what it was. Calm, unhurried, enjoyable. They threw out their lines and drifted along with the current, heading further downstream until they came across something that stopped them cold.
Copy that.
Say again?
Copy. I think we got a dead body here. Yep, we do. A dead body. Oh my god, a dead body. I found a dead body. Dead body. Oh my god, a dead body. I gotta call the police. It's right there. God, a dead body. Call 911. I don't want to sit here and poke at it. 911. I'm fishing on Lake Emery and I have come across the dead body.
We're out on Lake Emery.
I am putting at the boat ramp and I was going down towards the discharge, the water station discharge, and I'm kind of in between the discharge and the boat ramp, heading down towards the dam.
Okay. Are you in the water?
Yeah, I'm sitting here looking at it.
Okay. I'm trying to pinpoint your location here.
I mean, it could, I mean, it looks like a dead body. I mean, there's a hand sticking up, there's a rotted face. I don't know if it's some kind of stupid Halloween spooky thing, but I'm not touching it. So.
Okay, what was your name, sir?
My name is Mark Wilkins. It looks like it's been here for
5051 or 5005, your phone number?
yes, sir. John, go up there and look at that and tell me what you think. No, you can see his face. I mean, I thought it was like some kind of yard decoration or something, but I don't know, dude. That looks pretty dead to me.
That looks like a person.
Yeah, like it's been here for a minute. Oh my God, dear Lord, please rest that person's soul. I mean, I saw that hand sticking up and I was just like, is that some kind of Halloween, like, spooky yard thing that ended up in here? Because it is small.
Yeah, it is.
But I looked at the face, dude. It's definitely a person. Hey, and there's shoes at the boat ramp, dude. There's just a pair of, like, little Crocs, not like a girl-sized Crocs just sitting there at the boat ramp. Weird.
What's said there's a report of a girl missing?
Yeah, it was like a young, it's hard to tell by that face. It was like a young girl, but there's no way that would decay in that fast. I mean, I don't know how long they said she was missing in that little thing, but.
Yeah, this looks like it's been there a minute.
Yeah.
Guys, thank you. I'll call you if I need it.
Okay. All right. Hey, don't forget to check that boat ramp, dude. Those little pairs of shoes. That's.
We got somebody.
Oh.
Police were on the scene within minutes, and what they confirmed was exactly what Mark and John had feared. It was a young girl whose life had been cut tragically short. A pair of shoes discovered near the dock close by were believed to belong to the victim. Officers quickly sealed off the area, transforming what had once been a quiet, peaceful lake into an active crime scene. Despite being visibly shaken, both Mark and John remained to give their accounts to investigators. At that point, nobody had any answers. Not who she was, not what had happened to her. Chelsea Maxine had just taken her first steps into a new chapter, packing her belongings into storage and hitting the road alongside her dog and cat. That debut night of car camping was supposed to be a gentle trial run, a promising move toward living life on her own terms.
Road trip. The next few videos I'm going to show you all lead up to me having to make this decision. If you don't know who I am, hey, my name is Chelsea. I'm currently traveling the world and sharing with you what it's really like to take on a journey like this. And let me just tell you, the transition into living in your vehicle is so hard, but it really was worth it. And I'm honestly just trying to figure out where I belong in this life, because at the moment I'm just trying to make things work and
Well past midnight, she pulled into a Walgreens to grab a few things. Heading back out down a deserted street dressed up in Halloween decor, a dangling ghost prop caught her off guard. A small scare, but one that quietly foreshadowed everything ahead.
To hang a big ghost person from a tree out here, and I literally thought it was a dead person. I was like, what is that? I thought it was either a dead person or a ghost coming out the woods. You know how they talk about like the lady in white or red or whatever she may be wearing. I was scared. And there's some creepy houses out here. I wish I could show you guys. Man.
So at this point in the trip, I got really tired. I researched the...
She eventually pulled into a parking lot that had been flagged in online communities as a reliable spot for overnight stays. Not long after getting settled though, she clocked a truck making laps around the lot, the same vehicle she suspected had been tailing her earlier.
I needed needed to pull over and sleep somewhere. So as soon as I did, that's when I seen this truck pull in. And if you watched the last episode, you know that there was somebody following me and it got really scary and sketchy. And is this the same person? I don't know, but it really seemed like it, and it seemed pretty sketch. So please don't be a truck. Is that a truck? It is a freaking...
It crept past her slowly, its headlights cutting directly into her car. With every additional pass, the feeling of danger grew harder to shake. Chelsea stayed planted in the driver's seat, doing her best to stay out of sight, every nerve firing.
I was scared. Still, it's like chilling. What is it doing? And why would it come down here? Like, oh, this is going to McDonald's. No, it's not. What the heck? RV people and van life people to sleep here. Okay, we're gonna have to see if he comes back. I was gonna get into the back of my vehicle, but I'm just gonna wait it out because I don't like this. I noticed a truck was still following me.
After watching it circle multiple times, she made the call to move on and find somewhere else to rest for the night, even if that somewhere felt less ideal. At her second stop, she pressed black trash bags against the windows as a DIY privacy solution.
So, I ended up finding another place to sleep. It's really dark in these video clips because I couldn't turn on a light because I was too scared to. Because I was sleeping in the back of my car and I didn't want people to know I was back there, so that's why these next few clips will be dark. I feel like a lot of clips in this video were dark. I'm sorry about that, but I want to share my entire experience with you guys. And everything I show you is real life, and real life isn't perfect. And my videos won't be perfect, but I don't want to cut it out because it's what actually happened during this trip.
Fatigue eventually caught up with her, but the night had already done its damage. The dream of solo freedom came wrapped in a persistent, quiet sense of danger.
But I was gonna live stream, but I think it's best not to. I'm laying in the bed I made back here. It's actually really comfortable. I'm just scared to turn on a light and show you guys. Maybe I'll do it really fast. It's just I don't have curtains in here yet, you know? I wish you could see me. Yeah, you can see out the window. There. You can see all the different areas. I'm so tired. I don't think I'm gonna live stream because then I'd have to turn on a light. And I don't have any.
One commenter put it better than most. I'm so sorry for everything you had to deal with tonight. You're genuinely a wonderful person, and I hope nothing but good things find their way to you going forward. Please look after yourself. So I'm heading back toward the house when I notice this figure just standing there. I mean, he's just there, motionless, and something about him immediately seems off to me. So I start making my way over, step by step, getting closer and closer, and then, hold on. That's no person at all, it's literally just a shadow.
Okay, so I'm walking back to the house, and I see this guy standing there. And I'm like, why does he look so weird? So I start walking closer, and closer, and closer, and closer, and wait. That's not a guy at all.
The way the light hits the pillar creates this perfect silhouette that completely fools your brain into thinking someone's standing there. One of the most convincing optical illusions I've ever seen in real life. Picture the steady drone of equipment inside a mission control room. Monitors casting a pale glow with live feeds from a space shuttle orbiting high above Earth. Everything appears routine until two dim objects glide across the darkness, drifting close to the shuttle's hull. Their movement is slow and perfectly mirrored, as though gravity simply doesn't apply to them.
You guys getting the image? Copy that. Last clear. 7, go ahead. I'll tell you at 10 o'clock high. This is Houston. Say again, 7.
Officials at the time dismissed them as reflections, maybe stray fragments of debris caught in the shuttle's orbit, yet no piece of known wreckage has ever moved with that kind of deliberate purpose. The two shapes pull away from each other while holding a steady course, the camera rolling on in silence. The feed cuts out before anyone offers an explanation.
All it's high, but appears to be tumbling. It just seems to be tagging along with us.
Years have passed, and people are still scrubbing through those frames, searching for an answer that never came. This unsettling footage was recorded by Jonathan, a creator you may already know from his YouTube channel, Happy Hippie Wild Living. Jonathan has built a reputation for his upbeat, carefree personality, and rarely lets fear get the better of him. He holds a genuine passion for the outdoors and living close to nature. And for more than 2 years, he's kept audiences hooked with content covering everything from camping trips to wandering through forgotten places. But this particular upload took a sharp and frightening detour. It all unfolded on January 3rd, 2024, when Jonathan headed out solo into the wilderness for yet another one of his explorations. True to his habits, he prefers a different sleeping spot every night, and on this occasion, his destination was a small, remote hut tucked deep in the bush. What he didn't realize was that this modest little cabin was concealing something deeply unsettling.
Welcome to day 435 of me living out in nature, and it's the new year, so I thought I'd do a nice long video instead of the little short minute ones I've been doing recently. Today I'm going to go find a bovvy around this area somewhere. It'll be the 3rd time I've stayed in a bovvy. I've never had any guests, so...
As Jonathan checks in with his audience and lays out his plans for the day, the mood feels completely relaxed and routine. Despite the cold, rainy winter conditions, his energy stays bright and infectious as he pushes through the quiet bushland, soaking up the solitude.
I'm going to is called the White Lagan, I believe, and it's by Loch D, and I've got a bit of wood with me just in case there's no dry stuff there, so I can have a fire with ease. Not seen a single person on this hike yet, but that's how most of my days go in the winter. I like that I get to do this in the winter mostly, and then the summer job I'm just at one place, so I miss all the crowds when I'm out in nature. There's my home in the distance. Let me zoom in. It's got the nice Scottish flag on it. Let's go see what it looks like. I've had people say I'm brave and ballsy for living this lifestyle, but there's nothing brave about it when it's doing something you love, so I don't agree with that. I do agree with doing things you're passionate about in life. You only live once. Life goes by pretty fucking quick, so get out.
The instant Jonathan's eyes landed on that little structure, a wide grin broke across his face. He approached without hesitation, completely oblivious to what was lurking inside.
I've made it to my home for the night, and it looks beautiful. Oh, nice bunk beds.
A quick walkthrough of the hut revealed no sign of any other occupants, which suggested Jonathan would likely have the place to himself for the night. He unpacked, arranged his sleeping area, and started getting comfortable until a family passing by caught his attention.
They come in, but they've drove it. I didn't even know you could drive on this road. And I just had that family come in, and they said they'd just been to a different bovvy nearby, and they were just searching around for another one, so they're just gonna have a little walk somewhere, and they said, I might have guests tonight.
Jonathan had a brief conversation with them. They weren't certain whether they'd be bunking down in the hut as well, though they didn't rule it out entirely. As darkness began to close in, Jonathan headed indoors to cook dinner and get his camp sorted.
Set up my bed for the night. Gonna get the fire on when it gets darker. There's normally loads of candles around, but they've all been burnt out. Finish off the haggis, and of course, putting in my favourite, cayenne pepper. And as always, top it off with a little mustard. And there we have dinner fit for a little hippie.
For a while, everything felt completely at ease. He even got a fire going and made the space feel rather homely before turning in for the night. But that's when the first signs that something was off began to surface.
Probably be me for most of the night now. I just get the music on, enjoy this beautiful fire, and then get back outside tomorrow in my hammock. I got one of them water filter straws, and it comes with 2 little bags as well, so you can attach the straw to that. But I've not got to use. Oh, maybe this is the guests. There's no one there. I don't know if that's just the people fucking with me or something. I don't know if that's something they do. But I don't think it would be that family if it was just a dad and his daughter and son.
Noises crept in from outside, almost as though something was deliberately toying with him. Every time he went to investigate, there was nobody there. Jonathan tried his best to shake it off, but the sounds kept coming, steadily wearing down his composure.
Came on the door again, and then I went out, but there was no one there, so I don't know what's going on, but I've not heard of any haunted bobbies or anything. I've never had weird shit. Fuck's sake. Just wanted a nice little bobby night. If you've watched all my videos before, you know I don't do shit like this. Fun night.
Rattled and on edge, Jonathan retreated to his bed, lying there wide-eyed and scanning every dark corner. A creeping sensation washed over him, like something beyond the windows had its eyes fixed on him. Yet, every glance outside revealed absolutely nothing.
You're walking around into the room, and then I go in there, and it just stops. Maybe I just put my music on really loud and forget about it. Cameraman never dies, right? So it's been about an hour and a half since I last made a video, and I've just been doing what I said. I've had my music on loud, I've listened to Blink, some drum and bass, some reggae, and I'm doing what I came here to do, and that's have a good fucking night. So I'm enjoying my time by this fire, and have an amazing day tomorrow, back out in nature where I belong.
In an effort to settle his nerves, Jonathan signed off with his viewers, put some music on, and the tension in the room seemed to ease. He eventually drifted off, and thankfully, the remainder of the night passed without incident.
Bit of an experience last night, not really sure what was going on. Thought it was just people knocking on the door and running away that were camping nearby, but it didn't seem like that when I went outside. Couldn't really explain what was happening next door with the noises, but I'm not really a believer in ghosts myself. It was a bit creepy, but I'm more of an alien guy. But if you are into ghosts and all that paranormal stuff, these are not the videos for you, because this is not what I do, this is not what I'm about. I'm just a happy hippie, hiking, living in nature, loving the world. I never have anything like this happen to me, so hopefully it's just a one-off and everything goes back to normal now.
Come morning, Jonathan reflected on everything that had happened the night before. He managed to rationalize it, and he wasn't willing to chalk it up to anything supernatural. But after thoroughly checking the surrounding area, he found zero evidence of anyone having been out there. So what exactly was responsible for those sounds? The answer never came, and the mystery remains wide open to this day. Jonathan pressed on with his outdoor adventures, though he made it clear he had no intention of ever going back to that hut. His experience is a quiet but powerful reminder that deep in the wilderness, solitude isn't always what it seems. But what if the thing you come face to face with isn't invisible at all? What if it's something far more terrifying? Here's how the next one plays out. A woman pulls into her parking spot after a late night shift, climbs out of her car, and suddenly stops dead in her tracks. On the other side of the street, she notices a strange creature gripping some sort of light source, moving across the ground on all four limbs like a beast. she completely loses it. And fortunately, a nearby CCTV camera caught the whole thing. Pay close attention to what unfolds. At first, a glowing white shape hovers suspended in the air for several seconds, with nothing visibly supporting it. Then the full picture comes into focus. The light is being carried by a creature that lowers itself onto all fours and begins moving at speed. The woman describes it as something part human in appearance, its upright stance collapsing into an animal-like crawl, almost as though it were stalking prey or scouring the area. The velocity it reached on 4 limbs was deeply unnatural. Skeptics have written it off as a hoax because of the light, but according to her account, that glow appeared first, floating freely in midair on its own, before the entity seemed to materialize around it. There's been no second sighting since. The details line up closely with classic werewolf and skinwalker encounters, light anomalies tied to shape-shifting explosive quadrupedal movement. So was this a real cryptid caught in the act, or something far stranger using that light as bait? Drop your thoughts below. Footage from this story was captured by a security camera mounted on the exterior of a family's home. The household had returned late at night at around 2:46 in the morning. They were pulling items out of the back of their vehicle when something unusual caught their attention. Pay close attention to what follows.
¿Escuchaste? ¿Qué viste? Se escuchó que se rieron.
Sounds that resemble the voice of a young girl can be picked out in the audio. Everyone present at the time reported hearing what they could only describe as a little girl either laughing or letting out a scream. But here's where the whole situation takes a much darker turn. Because within just a few minutes of that moment, a collision takes place right in the exact spot where those sounds had been coming from. The home's second camera picks up the sound of the crash, and one of the family members immediately runs over to see what happened and whether anyone is hurt. When they arrived, they found a man lying on the ground, conscious and completely clear-headed. But the detail that shook everyone most was that he kept bringing up a little girl.
No, señor, no había ninguna niña, no se mortifique.
I'm not able to show the actual footage, but as you can hear in the audio, the woman tells the man there was no girl anywhere nearby. Yet he continued to insist that he had seen a young girl sitting inside the truck that collided with him. The moment he heard this, the man who had rushed over and was recording was immediately taken back to those strange screams from earlier. His belief is that this was some kind of dark omen, a spirit in the form of a girl appearing to warn them, or perhaps reveling in the terrible event that was about to unfold just moments later. The question that remains is, just what exactly did that man see? The TikTok account shown here belongs to a creator named Alexis, who had been posting ordinary slice-of-life content on his channel. Nothing seemed out of the ordinary, until one particular night turned his world upside down. It all began when he headed out alone to catch a late-night movie. Once the film wrapped up, he started picking up strange sounds reverberating through the deserted building. His first instinct was that someone was messing with him, so he took out his phone and hit record. What he caught on camera was the last thing he expected. A mysterious figure can be spotted lurking behind one of the pillars. Its face looks oddly dark and warped. Afterward, Alexis posted a follow-up video where he explained that this location has long had a reputation for being haunted, particularly around the bathroom area. Plenty of commenters backed this up, saying they'd come across the same stories themselves. Intrigued, Alexis made the decision to head back and go live to see what he might encounter. That's when everything took a darker turn.
Yo salí del baño y andaba para allá. Y allá es donde se me iba a hacer. Vete a la... ¿Se escuchan? La puerta. Vaya, no va a pasar. Estoy loco. Aquí es donde dicen que se aparece un niño. ¡Hala! Me volvieron a apagar la luz. No, ya me voy. Ya me voy. Pero lo que querían saber era ya. Ya me voy. A ver.
On this visit, he didn't spot anything visually, but blood-curdling screams rang out through the hollow, empty space. Overwhelmed with fear, he bolted. But what he hadn't counted on was the possibility that whatever lurked in that building may have followed him out. Several nights later, he was yanked out of sleep by relentless knocking at his window. Each time he got up to investigate, nobody was there. And it wasn't a one-time thing. The knocking kept coming back, night after night. Distinct scratching noises can be heard coming from the other side of a closed door, yet each time he pulls it open, the hallway is completely empty. On top of that, he started picking up on other unsettling things happening around the house.
¿Me escuchan? ¿Qué quieres? Déjame en paz, aquí vivo yo. Si esto siempre lo dejamos apagar. Apagado.
A toy sitting on the couch powered itself on without anyone touching it. As Alexis moved closer to investigate, the small piano on the nearby table suddenly played a single note, as though an invisible hand had pressed one of the keys. After that moment, the strange incidents inside the home began happening with increasing regularity.
Voy a abrir.
In one of his more recent uploads, Alexis shared that followers had been urging him to stop answering the door at night, warning that doing so could let something unwanted in. Then, one evening, as the knocking started up again, his wife managed to photograph what looks like a woman standing just outside their front door. Yet, every time Alexis rushes out to look, the figure has vanished. So, what do you think is really happening at Alexis's home? Did something genuinely trail him back from that building? Or could there be a rational explanation behind all of this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. When Mimi set up her TikTok famous security camera, she positioned it to face the outside of her home, never really pointing it toward the backyard. Most nights, nothing happened. The camera barely ever triggered an alert. But then one evening, a notification came through that stopped her cold. Here's what her camera managed to record. Out of nowhere, a figure appeared, moving across the yard from the right side of the frame. The translucent shape glided through the grass before vanishing completely from view. Only a few details were clearly distinguishable: dark hair, pale white hands, and black shoes. You'd almost be convinced this was a real living person walking through her property. To this day, Mimi has no idea who or what passed through her yard that night. And as for Mimi herself, let's just say she was absolutely ready to throw hands. This next clip was posted by an Indonesian woman whose online presence has nothing to do with the paranormal. It's simply a window into her daily work life. But all of that changes on the evening of May 7th, 2025, when she notices a figure standing just outside the entrance and swings the door open to let them in. It's only afterward that she begins to understand that whoever walked through that door was no ordinary visitor.
Oh, cari konten gimana? Yang bercowok sama cewek? Iya. Ini saya ada 2 rekomendasi. Cari yang lain ya. Nah, kalau ini lebih segar. Kalau yang ini lebih lebih untuk ceweknya ya. Jadi cowok atau cewek. Apa ya? Kalau dari cowok. Sumpah, masalahnya gue dari sini. Aku tuh bukan nama itu. Terus lagi aku ini kan orang ini kan aku buat cewek sama cowok. Aku bukain orang. Karena uang ya. Ya Allah, kamu beneran. Uang itu belum gue ya kan. Nanti masuk aku lihat orang kan. Aku kan jadi lama di sini.
She casually holds the door open for someone completely invisible to everyone else. She continues the conversation naturally, asking about perfumes, one for a woman, one for a man. Then her coworker walks over, puzzled, wanting to know who she's been chatting with, and that's the moment it all sinks in. She's been holding a full conversation with something no one else could perceive. She tells him a woman came into the store. He scans the room, completely at a loss. The place is empty. Once the video made its way online, theories started pouring in. Some viewers suggested the woman she'd been speaking with may have died in an accident just outside, on the road nearby, while others argued it was nothing more than her mind playing games after an exhausting shift. So what do you think? A restless spirit lingering near the spot where she perished, or simply a tired mind conjuring something that wasn't there? A woman named Rose was unwinding in her bedroom late at night when an odd, unfamiliar noise drifted in from her bathroom. Assuming it was probably just the wind, she cautiously made her way in to investigate. Nothing could have prepared her for what she found.
I don't remember opening that. Okay. What is that? What the is that? What the is that? Why? That's on the outside. What honestly is that? What honestly is that? Can I use my... What the is... It's on the outside. It's on the outside. I'm scared.
The curtains hanging over the bathroom window began shifting, as though something on the other side was tugging them outward. It seemed like it could have a rational explanation, until distinct impressions resembling fingers started pressing into the glass. The window sat on the second floor, making it physically impossible for anyone outside to reach it. Rose's hands trembled as she slowly stepped back. Then, for just a split second, the camera revealed something far more unsettling. A dark, motionless silhouette lurking just beyond the bathroom doorway directly behind her. The moment she spun around, it was gone, leaving absolutely nothing behind except the overwhelming sense of dread. A TikTok creator who goes by Amoroso, based in Mexico, is someone we featured here on the Haunted Frequency before. His life was once completely ordinary until his home became ground zero for a relentless and aggressive wave of paranormal events. If you caught our previous video, you'll recall that he filmed a mysterious woman lurking outside his house in the middle of the night. Amoroso is convinced that this woman cast a dark curse rooted in black magic over his household and everyone in it. Then, on April 5th, 2026, he dropped a fresh update that makes one thing crystal clear. This ordeal is nowhere near finished. After picking up strange sounds coming from his living area, he grabbed his phone and hit record.
La televisión. Sí, es un poco tarde, pero se escucha bastante ruido allá. Y el detalle es que mi esposa está en la planta alta con los niños durmiendo. Miren el sillón cómo se está moviendo. Ya son la 1 de la madrugada, amigos. Ya la verdad me estoy poniendo bastante nervioso. Se estaba moviendo clarito, se estaba moviendo, entré y se dejó de mover, vean. Oigan los golpes. Ya empezaron los golpes. Esto sí está muy cañón. La verdad sí me pone bastante de nervios esto. Como si alguien anduviera en la cocina, amigos. Pero la verdad, no sé. No sé si acercarme o no, amigos, la verdad. ¿Quién anda ahí? No mames, güey. Miren. A la virga, güey. A la virga. ¿Qué fue eso? A la madre. No mames. No digas mamadas. No mami, gente. Se me eriza la piel, cabrones. No mames. ¿Qué chingas a toda tu madre, güey?
Once you break this footage down, the sheer amount of activity packed into it is genuinely staggering. The darkened room sits in heavy, uneasy silence at first. Looking for some reassurance, Amoroso reaches over and switches on the living room light. What that sudden brightness reveals is a wooden rocking chair moving steadily back and forth, completely on its own, with nobody anywhere near it. While he keeps the camera trained on that empty chair, a thunderous pounding suddenly explodes from his front door. He holds himself together and moves into the hallway to figure out where the noise is coming from, but the chair immediately starts rocking again behind him. The movement stops him cold. Then, unmistakably, a chilling laugh rings out from somewhere directly behind him. Now completely gripped by panic, a sound near the front window pulls his attention away. He swings the camera toward the glass, and right there, outside in the pitch black, a dark shadowy figure stands motionless, staring straight into the house. Overcome with fear, Amoroso spins around and bolts for the staircase. But as he runs, that same eerie laughter breathes right down the back of his neck, just as the footage cuts to black. So, what's your take on this one? In July 2018, a dashcam recording from Saudi Arabia showed a hijab-wearing woman seated in the center of the road, reciting prayers. Officers arrived on the scene and attempted to communicate with her, yet she remained completely still and gave no sign of awareness that they were even there. planted in the middle of a live traffic lane and refusing to respond. What on earth could have pushed her to this point? A user going by the name Danny uploaded the footage you're about to witness back in February of this year. Danny says he's been noticing strange, unexplained activity along the coastline of Lima, Peru, and decided to go live on camera while wandering the area late at night, hoping to catch something unusual. At around 12:30 in the morning, Danny crosses paths with a stray dog, and that's when things take a turn.
¿Qué hace? Ven, ven, te vas a caer. Mano, esto no es un perro, mano. Este es un aviso de algo, huevón. Poco, huevón, ¿ah? Mano, este está bien sospechoso, huevón. Este huevón está bien sospechoso. Voy a seguir avanzando, ¿ok? No voy a correr, hermano. Espera, todavía no voy a correr. Todavía no voy a... Eran choros, hermano. Ya sé, hermano, ya sé, pero por eso te digo. ¿Es el perro? El perro se convirtió en humano. ¿Qué hablan, mano? Oh, mano, a la firme, ¿saben qué?
A figure dressed in dark clothing can be spotted trailing behind Danny, though they eventually vanish out of frame. Danny's best guess is that this was a would-be thief who thought better of it once they realized he was broadcasting live. But the next individual Danny comes across is a whole lot harder to rationalize.
Escúchame. Mano, este pata está arriba, huevón. Mano, escúchame. Mano, mira cómo traspasa su cuerpo. ¿Vieron?
There's a man wearing a hat standing just behind Danny, and as he shifts position, it becomes clear that the man's body looks almost transparent. Right before Danny's eyes, and the eyes of everyone watching, the figure seems to dissolve completely into nothing. Danny and his live audience were left stunned, and the fact that this was happening in real time on a live stream makes it incredibly difficult to dismiss as a hoax. A lot of viewers have suggested that what Danny recorded was a paranormal entity known in Peruvian folklore as a karasiri, a creature often compared to a vampire. If that interpretation is correct, Danny got away very lucky that night. The real mystery though is this: where exactly did that figure go? Dating back to 2025, this footage was recorded by a home security camera in the early hours of the morning, somewhere around 2:50 a.m. A woman was settled in her living room quietly reading when something absolutely terrifying came out of nowhere. Deep in her book, she suddenly sensed movement right next to her and leapt to her feet in sheer panic. Shortly after, a bottle toppled off a surface by itself, with no one near it. The woman later posted a video online describing exactly what had shaken her so deeply that she fled her own home entirely.
We covered with 3 CCTV cameras for our own protection. And a lot of you are asking if I was reading a Bible that time. No. I was actually reading this. I'm a fan of anything that is ancient. A lot of you are also asking what was the whisper all about. I'm sorry, pero namali ako doon. It was not a whisper, but it was just a breathing. And something that was breathing, that is where alcohol bottle was placed. Something is protecting me.
Her conclusion was that something supernatural had taken hold of the place, and honestly, it's hard to blame her. The security system had already recorded a number of deeply unsettling incidents throughout the house that she simply had no rational explanation for. Late one evening, a group of friends had gathered around a campfire when someone in the group took this picture. What they discovered left them stunned. A mysterious dark figure was standing directly behind one of the men. The whole group was shaken to the core. just what exactly had they managed to photograph that night. A man from China who goes by Max Chen on social media uploaded a clip on May 22nd, 2025 that almost immediately caught people's attention for being, to put it mildly, deeply strange. He doesn't explain what led up to the moment, but based on what we can see, he was making his way down the street when something brought him to an abrupt halt. Without hesitating, he reaches for his phone and starts filming. In the video, a figure is visible standing at a window. His complexion is shockingly pale, so drained of color it edges toward gray. He's completely still, eyes shut, not a single twitch or reaction. And as disturbing as the image is, the big question lingers. Are we actually witnessing something beyond explanation, or is there a rational reason for what ended up on camera? As always, that call belongs entirely to you. A UK-based content creator who goes by Welcome to the Woods UK makes a habit of documenting his solo camping trips around the country, capturing everything he encounters along the way. In a video he uploaded in February 2024, he heads out to spend the night in a remote cabin he's been constructing deep within the forest. What begins as a straightforward off-grid build project, however, quickly spirals into something far more unsettling. See for yourself.
Don't know what is going on here. This woodland just gets stranger and stranger. But the gutting thing is I was hoping to show you lot that cabin built from start to finish. It was just going to be a little cabin. Might as well show you it now. It's wrecked. But I might as well show you it's wrecked now. But I'll show you the video I was starting to make that would have probably took a month or two to put up. Although there weren't a lot of work put into that frame, there was a lot of work elsewhere on the yard where I've broken down about 50-60 large 7-foot pallets, broken all the boarding off it to make walls for that. I even measured up my stove, so a little stove would.
Unfortunately, the shed structure he had been working on was completely trashed by an unknown trespasser, and the man's frustration is written all over his face. Not long after, he reviews footage from 2 trail cameras he'd set up, and what they captured is equal parts mesmerizing and deeply disturbing.
At night time, that's in the right hand side of I believe it's camera 6, starts off, comes out of the woodland, and then all of a sudden it seems to trigger the camera again and then come back out. That again happens about a week later on camera 4, but this time it's daytime and it's a bit more explainable. I mean, it looks to me like someone's in there poaching for the deer perhaps, or doing a bit of wildlife photography, but whoever it is.
As you can see, a figure dressed in some form of camouflage gear is moving through the trees. Who exactly this individual is remains a total mystery. He then makes the decision to set up camp and stay overnight in the woods, hoping to catch whoever has been lurking around after dark on film. He's even armed with an audio track designed to drive the person away should they wander too close to his sight. We then cut to footage of him settling in for the night when something outside suddenly puts him on edge. He can make out the sound of someone moving through the surrounding forest, striking the trees as they go. The identity of this person and what they're after is anyone's guess. In a follow-up video, the YouTuber rigs up a decoy campsite as bait to try and catch this mysterious wanderer on camera.
Don't know if you can see it, but just against that tree that's out there in the opening, that is the decoy camp. I'll show you exactly where we are with an arrow. As you can see, once you're shut inside, it's quite cosy. want to keep this light as low as I can. But it sounds like a woman shouting or screaming. Jesus. Jesus. The hell is that? What the hell is that? Switch over to night vision 1 second.
What he ended up recording was genuinely alarming. Somewhere out in the darkness, a woman can be heard letting out a scream. Remarkably, the man chose to stick it out and didn't flee the scene after hearing it. Let's just hope he thinks twice before going back, because the next encounter could turn out far worse. This security camera recording captures an unsettling humanoid shape moving on all fours across the ground. Long hair draped over most of its face, and the motion it made simply didn't register as anything a person would do. This thing wasn't walking upright like a human being. It was slinking along like some kind of animal or beast. A number of viewers have compared its appearance to that of a witch. The facial features were impossible to make out clearly, yet the way it moved alone was more than enough to send chills down anyone's spine. The woman had absolutely no clue that something like that had been lurking right outside her home. The following video was recorded by a mother who began experiencing something she couldn't quite explain. A sudden, overwhelming sense of anxiety that seemed to come out of nowhere while she was at home with her baby. It wasn't tied to any noise or visible movement at first, just a heavy feeling that something wasn't right. On this particular day, it was just her and her son in the house, sitting together and watching a movie. Everything calm and completely normal. But then, something small caught her attention. The bathroom door. The last time she had looked at it, it had been slightly shut. Now, it was wide open. That subtle change was enough to make her uneasy, and instead of brushing it off, she reached for her phone and started recording, trying to understand what had changed. Watch closely.
Please go away. You're not wanted. Go away. Wherever you are, go away. Spooky? Psst, 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 psst. Spook?
At first, nothing seemed obvious, but when she reviewed the footage later, she noticed something she hadn't seen in the moment. Right at the entrance of the bathroom, a distinct shadow-like figure appears briefly, moving quickly enough that it's easy to miss if you're not paying close attention. Some believe this could be a shadow entity, something that manifests in quick, fleeting movements, often seen at the edges of vision or during moments of heightened awareness. But I'll let you be the judge. This next video was recorded by a Ring camera inside the home of a woman named Jennifer, who owns a beautiful historic house dating all the way back to 1907, filled with antique pieces that go as far back as 1903. It's the kind of home that carries history in every corner, but not all of that history feels at rest. Not long after moving in, Jennifer began noticing things she couldn't explain. Soft footsteps when no one else was home, faint whispering drifting from empty rooms, and objects that seemed to shift slightly when she wasn't looking directly at them. Concerned, she reached out to several mediums, and strangely, they all told her the same thing. They sensed children in the house. One night, her Ring camera captured something that made those claims even harder to dismiss. Watch. The first thing people noticed were the large orbs forming inside the dollhouse, something that already feels unsettling on its own. But then, the dollhouse camera itself shifts position, and that's not all. At the very beginning of the video, as the cat walks down the stairs, some viewers notice something else, the faint sound of what appears to be a man coughing. Jennifer later revealed that the family who previously owned the house passed away tragically, which immediately shifted how people interpreted the footage. Because if multiple mediums sense children, and there's an unexplained adult presence heard in the background, then what exactly is still in that house? Some believe there may be more than one presence, and not all of them are children. So is this a case of a family that never truly left, or something else entirely, using their memory to remain unseen? You decide. Now, in this next clip, a man finds himself doing something that doesn't make sense to the people around him, sleeping out almost every night, moving from one friend's place to another, rarely ever going back to his own home. At first, his friends didn't think much of it. Maybe he just enjoyed the company. Maybe he didn't like being alone. But after a while, the pattern became too obvious to ignore. Day after day, he kept avoiding his own house, so they started asking questions, and he quickly realized something. This wasn't the kind of situation you could explain with words, because no matter how serious you sounded, no matter how detailed you tried to be, it would still sound unbelievable. So instead of explaining it, he showed them. Watch this. objects aren't just falling, they're being flung across the room. Glass shatters, plates are thrown, chairs move with force as if something unseen is tearing through the space with intent. And according to him, this wasn't a one-time thing. This had been happening repeatedly, turning his home into what he described as a living nightmare. He would hear loud crashes at night, wake up to rooms completely destroyed, and sometimes even feel like something was moving through the house while he was still inside, forcing him to leave just to feel safe. There were moments where doors would slam shut behind him as he tried to leave, and times when he claimed he heard low, unintelligible sounds, almost like something trying to speak but never fully forming words. Some viewers have suggested that this could be a case of a demonic presence, and if that's true, then what he captured might just be the beginning. So is leaving the house the only option he has left? You be the judge. In this next video, a woman named Maddie is casually recording content, completely focused on what she's doing, when something happens that instantly shifts the entire mood. Listen closely.
What the fuck is that? Oh my god, what the fuck is that? My speaker's right here. My speaker's right here. What the fuck is that? Am I schizophrenic? Dude, someone just talked behind me. I just heard myself echo back.
A voice can be heard, but people can't seem to agree on what it actually says. Some hear, "What's your name?" Others are convinced it says, "Look behind you." And a few even believe it sounds like, "What do you mean?" But no matter what people hear, everyone agrees on one thing. There was a voice. This is where things start to feel especially unsettling, because many believe this could be an example of what's often referred to as a mimic. A presence that doesn't just make noise, but uses human-like voices to get attention, confuse, or even lure a reaction. These kinds of entities are often described as unpredictable, sometimes repeating phrases, other times creating entirely new ones, but always with one goal: to be heard. And once they are acknowledged, the activity can escalate. Now, in this next video, a man shares something he captured at his former workplace, a company that had recently been shut down under unclear circumstances. He never fully explained why the business closed, which already raised questions, but according to him, while he worked there, strange things were constantly happening. There were moments where he and his coworkers would hear unexplained noises in empty areas, tools going missing and reappearing in odd places, and an uncomfortable feeling that certain parts of the building were off limits, even though no one ever said it out loud. But what made it worse were the accidents. He claims that both he and others experienced incidents that didn't feel random: sudden injuries, equipment malfunctioning at the wrong time, things going wrong in ways that felt almost targeted. And over time, he started to believe that whatever was in that building wasn't just present, it was hostile. One day, while passing by on his way home, he decided to stop and take one last look. Watch.
At least I know I'm not crazy, because there's definitely somebody standing right there. And now they're gone. Tell me I'm fucking not nuts. And now they're back. You see it? tell me I'm fucking crazy. That's the creepiest shit I've ever seen in my life. Absolutely not.
Inside the building, there's a figure standing, and he later said that this confirmed what he had believed for a long time, that there were demons in that building, something that had been there even while people were still working inside. But, like always, I'll leave you to be the judge on this one. In this next video, a group of friends gather at one of their homes, planning nothing more than a relaxed evening, catching up, playing games, and unwinding after a long day. The atmosphere is light, filled with laughter and casual conversation, the kind of moment where nothing out of the ordinary is expected. At some point during the hangout, the host begins to share some of the strange things she's been experiencing in the house, small, unsettling incidents that she hasn't been able to explain. She talks about hearing movement when no one is around, objects not being where she left them, and that constant feeling that something is off. But instead of taking her seriously, her friends laugh it off. Then something happens. Watch closely.
Tiempo a jugar. ¿Más? Yo.
Sí, yo sí.
In that moment, everything changed. The laughter stopped and everyone had to leave, because what was just a story seconds ago is now happening right in front of them. Now this next clip is about another deeply unsettling situation, inside a woman's house where something had quietly been appearing for weeks without ever fully revealing itself. Watch closely.
It's outside. What the? Too scared to open my door.
In the reflection of her glass door, you can see what looks like the outline of someone standing outside, completely still, as if they were waiting. Not knocking, not moving, just standing there. Her dogs noticed it too, and sometimes they barked aggressively toward the door, their instincts telling them something was wrong, and other times they simply froze, staring in complete silence. This continued every other evening, always at roughly the same time, and the longer it went on, the more it began to feel less like coincidence and more like intention. Eventually, curiosity got the better of her. One evening, determined to prove it was just a neighbor or someone passing by, she walked up to the door and opened it without hesitation. But the moment she looked outside, there was no one there. No footsteps, no one walking away, just empty space. And this is where many people believe the real mistake happened. It's often said that opening the door to something unknown can be seen as an invitation, not a verbal one, but a symbolic one. An act of acknowledgement, and a moment where the boundary between inside and outside is willingly broken. What makes this even more unsettling is what happened next. After that night, the figure stopped appearing completely, the reflections were gone, and the dog stopped reacting. Everything returned to normal, and for a while, she believed it was over. But weeks later, something new began.
Come here. Come here. Come here.
Then what's your name then?
She started hearing voices inside the house. At first, they were faint and distant, easy to dismiss, but over time they became clearer. Sometimes the voice sounded like her, other times like her friends, and then one day it sounded like her mother. That was the moment it crossed a line. In the video, she confronts it directly, asking it what her mom's name is, and for a moment, it went quiet. Shortly after that confrontation, she made the decision to leave the house entirely. She never confirmed exactly what happened next, but many believe the silence wasn't the end. Now we can only hope that whatever forced her to leave that home didn't follow her to the next one. In the following clip, a woman finally decides to share what her life has been like recently. Not because she wants attention, but because the things happening around her have reached a point where keeping it to herself no longer feels safe. For a while, she would notice blinds slightly out of place, hear faint sounds near the windows late at night, and occasionally feel like someone was standing just outside, watching. At first, she tried to convince herself it was nothing, maybe wind, maybe her imagination, but the feeling never really went away. One night, they caught this on camera. Watch closely.
Alright, my daughter's room is up there, and we keep seeing some... Alright, put your flashlight up. Alright, flash it up there. Oh, now it's gone. Put your flashlight down. Let's see if it'll do it again. Alright, put it up, hurry. Oh.
You can clearly see a figure slowly peeping through the blinds with its fingers on the blind. But then, the moment she shines a flashlight in that direction, it's gone. If something can physically interact with the blinds and then vanish without a trace, then it's not just passing by, it's choosing when to be seen. And if it was already close enough to look inside, then how long had it been standing there before the camera caught it? And what does it want from the family? Until more updates are shared, this remains a mystery. In the following clip, an explorer visits Presidio de San Saba in Menard, Texas, a location many believe is haunted not just by legend, but by history soaked in violence. Built in the mid-17th century, this Presidio became the site of brutal conflict involving Spanish settlers and Comanche and Wichita tribes. Historical accounts describe violent attacks, torture, and countless lives lost on this very ground. People who never had the chance to leave peacefully. While exploring the ruins late at night, the explorer records with his phone in his right hand, holding a flashlight firmly in his left. As he scans the corner of the structure, something completely unexpected happens. A dark shadow suddenly comes into view. Watch closely.
Here's the room I'm in. There's the K2. There's the REM pod. There's the wall all the way to the corner.
What makes this moment so unsettling is where he's standing. He's backed into a corner with no visible objects nearby that could cast a moving shadow like that. Even more convincing, you can clearly see his hand on camera. The phone is steady in one, the flashlight fixed in the other, and yet the shadow moves in the opposite direction. Viewers also notice something else when pausing the footage frame by frame. For a split second, the shadow appears to have horn-like protrusions, giving it a shape that looks disturbing. That detail alone sparked intense debate online. Considering the violent past of Presidio de San Saba, a place where suffering, fear, and death once filled the air, many believe this wasn't just a trick of the light. Others argue there must be a rational explanation we're missing. So what do you think? Is this simply a shadow playing tricks on the eye? Or did this explorer momentarily capture something that never truly left these grounds? You decide. In this next clip, a man is simply spending time with his child, recording a casual video just to save the moment, something parents do every day without thinking twice. But while he's focused on his daughter, laughing and playing, something else is happening right in front of him, and he doesn't notice it at all. Thankfully, the camera does. Watch closely and pay attention to the blinds.
Okay. Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay. That one hurt. Okay, you want me to make buckets now?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
I'm gonna catch it.
Oh, you want to catch it and then put it?
Okay.
Okay. Oh. Yeah. Yay! Yeah! You want the small one?
Yeah.
There you go. Oh, oh.
This is too small.
Sorry. It's too small.
Yeah.
Oh, you got it. No, almost. I mean, you hit SpongeBob though. Yay! Last one. 3, 1.
No! Seriously, 3.
Huh? 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1.
You should say 3, 2, 1, go!
3, 2, 1, go! In the basket. In the basket.
Go again.
Okay.
The window is completely shut. There's no visible breeze, and you don't see any fingers or hands reaching through the blinds like someone trying to peek inside. Confused and unsettled, the father decides to check the security camera installed in the room, just to rule out any coincidence. But when he watches the footage back, he sees the exact same thing happen again from a different angle. Viewers began speculating. Some suggested airflow from a vent, others said it could have been pressure from outside the window, or even someone poking the blinds from outside. Many weren't convinced it was paranormal until he shared the next clip. Watch this.
This right here is the room where it actually happened. Okay. So I was just sitting here with my daughter. Well, she was actually on a bed playing with her toy that she always plays with. All of a sudden, I didn't understand what was going on, because the only way you can move the blinds is if you're inside the room. There's no possible way. There's no possible way that someone can move the blinds from the outside of the room. There's no possible way somebody can just come up here and move the blinds from the inside.
This video made many people completely abandon logical explanations. The blinds are clearly touched from a height that would require someone to be at least 9 feet tall. There's no balcony, no platform, and no structure outside that could allow a person to reach that high. Wanting to be cautious, the man had his grandmother come over to bless the room. Even after that, though, he refused to let his daughter sleep there alone. During the day, though, she still goes in there to play, because locking the door would only raise more questions. And the answers are something a child her age wouldn't understand.
Okay, so this is the security camera that caught it. This is the whole area that it happened. I don't trust this area at all anymore, so my grandma had it blessed. Also, I don't feel safe in this place anymore at all. It's okay.
Everything seems calm on the surface, but the tension never really leaves. The father says he's constantly on edge, hoping the blessing worked and that whatever caused those movements is gone for good. But then, one evening, his daughter tells him she's seen someone in the room. Concerned, he goes in with her and stays close, just to reassure her. Then, this happens. After this encounter, his confidence completely collapsed. One blessing suddenly didn't feel like enough anymore. He began asking the same questions many parents in similar situations ask. Is this something that needs repeated blessings? Do these things come back? And is there a way to permanently protect a space once something has made itself known? Right now, he's doing everything he can to keep his daughter safe, but he's also searching for answers. If you've experienced something similar, or if you know of a solution that actually worked, this is the moment to share it, because whatever is happening in that room clearly isn't finished yet. Now, in this next video, we're taken back into the home of a woman who says she's dealt with paranormal activity for years, to the point where it has seriously impacted her life. In the past, she shared that she suffered a concussion, experienced unexplained electrical shocks, and endured months of constant disturbances inside her house. Then, just as suddenly as it all began, everything stopped. For months, her home was completely calm. No noises, no movement, no strange sensations. And she didn't cleanse, bless, or remove anything during that time. The activity simply went quiet on its own. But recently, whatever was there seems to have returned. One afternoon, while she was in the kitchen fixing herself lunch, something happened. Watch closely. According to her, this isn't an isolated incident. She says objects have moved on their own before, including a knife that shifted unexpectedly and at night. Also, while trying to sleep, she has heard low growling sounds coming from inside the house. Viewers who follow her story closely began connecting dots almost immediately. Some believe the sudden pause and return of activity could point to something that goes dormant, then reactivates. Others suggest it may be tied to a specific object in her home, especially one item she's mentioned before, a doll she bought at a thrift store. Still, without definitive proof or new updates, everything remains speculation. So, until she shares more evidence or finds a clear explanation, this unsettling case remains completely unsolved. The following video was captured somewhere in Mexico, where a man named Dav noticed something deeply unsettling at his best friend's house, a property that is still under construction. For weeks, people living nearby had been complaining about strange things happening around the building. Some mentioned hearing loud noises late at night when no one was supposed to be there. A few neighbors even said they felt watched whenever they passed by the place after dark. One morning, Dav and his friend decided to go check the house for themselves, hoping to put the rumors to rest. Dav stayed outside, keeping watch near the entrance, while his girlfriend Gabriella insisted on going inside. She was excited to document the interior and show their friend how the construction was coming along. Watch closely.
Desde que llegué a la casa le dije a Gabriela que había alguien ahí. Chucho se fue a asomar, no. Y se ve bien puto raro, miren. Tiene la pinche jeta. Tiene los ojos brillosos. ¿Qué pasó? ¿Sí estás grabando? ¿Estás grabando? ¿Y no grabaste nada? Ahorita te enseño el video para que veas. Sobres. Cuidado. A ver, ahorita vemos el video de Gaby. Voy a grabar por si.
The figure Dav saw didn't look like a person who wandered in by mistake. It appeared oddly shaped, standing unnaturally still, and what terrified viewers the most were its glowing eyes. Many people familiar with paranormal folklore pointed out something chilling. Houses under construction are often believed to attract spirits because they're considered unfinished spaces, places without protection, history, or grounding yet. Some say these locations act like open doors, especially when the land itself has an unknown past. Others believe spirits are drawn to new structures because they disrupt old energies buried beneath the ground. So was this just an optical illusion inside an unfinished building? Or did Dav see something that had already been there long before the house was ever built? For now, no one has a clear answer, and this encounter remains deeply unsettling and unexplained. Now, in this next clip, the popular Midwest ghost hunter Ian continues his solo exploration through Bonanzaville, an open-air museum made up of fully preserved historic buildings from different eras of North Dakota. While moving through one of the rooms, Ian suddenly hears what sounds like a woman's voice clearly asking, "Who are you?" Startled, he steps inside to see if anyone else is there, or if whatever spoke was still nearby. Watch closely.
Where are you in this room? That. Are you on this bed? If you're on this bed, could you move the blankets? I overheard that brothel work used to take place here. Are you, no disrespect, but lady of the night? I heard that again. Are you touching this bed? I keep hearing you. Wow. That was a heck of a string of activity. Jeez, that woman's voice was so clear on here. I still can't believe that. There's no doubt in my mind I was not alone in that room, and I'm not sure who that was. Man, I just feel like a cold breeze just passed me. Did somebody just go in front of me here? That's just like a wicked chill I got there.
Just seconds after Ian exits the room, something strange happens. A mist-like form begins to materialize from seemingly nothing, drifting through the space where the voice was heard moments earlier. When Ian reviews the footage, he can't shake the feeling that what he captured might have been the same presence, possibly the spirit of a woman rising from the bed and passing by him as a cold, unseen presence. Still processing what he's just experienced, Ian moves on to his next location inside Bonanzaville, the Houston Mansion. Built in 1891 on a bonanza farm, the mansion once belonged to David Houston, an inventor, farmer, and poet, and his wife Annie, a respected musician known across the state as the North Dakota songstress. Their life here was filled with creativity and acclaim, but it ended in tragedy. Employees and visitors alike are convinced that David and Annie never truly left. Reports of shadowy figures pacing the hallways, unexplained footsteps, and disembodied voices are common, especially on the second floor. Some claim David's spirit is particularly protective of the home, often frightening off visitors he doesn't approve of. His voice has even been heard muttering the words, "Get out." While inside the mansion, Ian decides to conduct a small test, a quiet attempt to see if either spirit is still present and willing to respond. Watch what happens next.
A pretty interesting tidbit about Annie and David is that they were actually spiritualists when they were alive. And it is said that Annie conducted seances on this very table. I've got a couple of dowsing rods here, and I'm going to see if I can communicate. Annie, are you here? Whoa. Did you see that? Dang. Annie, if that was you, could you separate them? Whoa. Right away. Thank you. I take it you are familiar with these? Yes. Wow. Annie, is it true that you were a spiritualist? Uncross the rods if that's true. Yes. Wow. I heard you were a musician as well. Is that true? Yes, I didn't even have to ask to cross them. Wow, Annie, I'm getting like serious goosebumps right now. Annie, is it true? Is this table your seance table? If it is, could you uncross the rods? Wow. Holy moly. Just to confirm, Annie, could you point these rods towards your seance table? There you have it. I'm gonna move these rods up forward again. Annie, is it okay that I'm here? Are you okay with me visiting? If so, cross the rods. You're not crossing them. Annie, do you want me to leave?
Goodbye now.
Whoa! Dude, I just freaking heard a whisper.
Could that have been Annie's voice finally answering and asking Ian to leave? Or was it something else entirely? Something that doesn't want anyone wandering the halls of the Houston mansion after dark? Whatever the case, Ian didn't feel welcome anymore. And judging by what he captured that night, maybe he never was. For more haunting videos including Ian, subscribe to the channel now. The following video is about a lady named Savannah, who's now in serious need of help, because it's starting to look like she's living through a real-life paranormal phenomenon. For months, she's been dealing with things she can't explain. Footsteps pacing around her room late at night, objects disappearing and reappearing in different places, her closet door cracking open on its own, and the overwhelming sensation that someone is standing right beside her whenever she tries to fall asleep. But things escalated the night she swore she felt something sit on her chest while she slept. And what truly pushed her to her breaking point was when she heard something in the darkness, mimicking her voice, calling her cat. She screamed, thinking she was losing her mind. Then she eventually set up cameras. What you're about to see is a compilation from different nights, everything her camera captured. Watch.
What?
Some nights, small objects would shift and slide across the room as if nudged by invisible hands. Other nights, something would crawl underneath her blanket, pressing against her legs as she slept. There were moments where her cat would freeze, stare at the corner of the room, and suddenly jump as if something tried to pick it up. And on the worst nights, she'd wake up feeling a tight pressure around her foot, like something was slowly trying to pull her off the bed. She's already blessed her room, she's placed crosses around her apartment, she's tried cleansing, prayers, everything. But whatever is there doesn't seem to care. Now she's asking for help, because at this point, she's genuinely afraid of what might happen next. If you have any suggestions, now's the time to share. Who knows? Your comment might be the solution she's been searching for. In this next clip, a paranormal investigator decided to explore an old crematorium, and after what he experienced there, he says he won't be going back anytime soon. Watch this.
Crazy.
Crematoriums already have a chilling history. These are places where countless families said their final goodbyes. Places where bodies are prepared, tagged, and stored before the final process. And in older crematoriums, especially those that have been shut down for years, many say the air never really loses that heaviness, as if the walls themselves remember everything they've seen. Some former workers claim that late at night, before closure, they'd hear metal trays shifting on their own, or doors to the furnace room slamming despite no draft. Others swear that once a body is cremated, the spirit doesn't always follow immediately. Sometimes it lingers, confused, or attached to the place where its physical form spent its final moments. Strange noises in an abandoned building are one thing, but inside a crematorium, with that history, this is the kind of place you enter once, and then decide it's better not to return. Now, in this next video, a mother named Christy has been dealing with something that's starting to unsettle her in ways she can't explain. For days now, she's noticed a strange pattern. She'll be talking to her little boy, something simple, everyday conversations, and suddenly he'll stop mid-sentence, freeze, and stare off toward a very specific part of the house. No blinking, no reacting. Almost like he's watching something move that she can't see. At first, she brushed it off as childish distraction, saying kids zone out all the time. But it kept happening, and each time, his eyes went to the same direction. One evening, while she was prepping dinner, he did it again, only this time, he wouldn't stop pointing toward the dining room, repeating the same thing over and over with a strange calmness that made her skin crawl. Watch this.
Where's the ghost?
Look at it.
What do you see?
I see something in a tiny room.
What is
I
it?
see something in a tiny room.
Where is it?
The hat. You're too.
I don't see it.
I'm opening it. It's the hat. See, look, I'm opening it. Hey, I'll open this one. You is one.
What?
You is one.
There's what?
There is.
What'd you see?
Next to my side.
What?
Next to my side on the hat. To my side on the hat. To my side on the hat.
It's okay.
I see a vaccine pudding on a. I see a vaccine pudding in a hat.
You see what?
A vaccine pudding in a hat.
Imagine your own child saying something like that, with that kind of certainty. Christy finally took him to the dining room to figure out exactly where this thing was supposed to be. It turned out to be a picture hanging on the wall. But here's the part that's confusing her the most. That picture has been there for months. He's walked past it hundreds of times, eaten dinner right across from it, played near it. And it has never bothered him. So why now? Some people think kids are naturally more sensitive, and maybe he's suddenly picking up on something attached to the photo, an energy, a memory, or a presence that wasn't active before. Whatever the case is, something about that picture has clearly changed. And until she gets more answers, this one remains unsolved. The following video was captured outside an Argentinian hospital. A man had just finished visiting someone and was heading back to his car when he suddenly heard a loud bang. Thinking maybe someone needed help or that something had fallen, he walked toward the sound. But when he got there, the place was completely empty, so he headed back to his car. And that's when he noticed this. Watch.
Estamos en este momento en el microhospital, escuchamos un golpe y nos dimos vuelta porque dijimos, bueno, ¿quién está entrando? Cuestión de que no hay nadie atrás nuestro. Y miramos dentro del auto y dijimos, oh, pues si el auto... ¿Qué mierda es? Lo peor de todo es que no queremos salir. O sea, no... Un miedo, la puta madre. Lo peor de todo es que se mueve adentro del auto y no hay nadie. O sea, ahora vamos a ir a controlar el auto. Pero parece como si fuese un reflejo. La puta madre. No, huevo. Ya, salimos rápido para que vean que no es mentira. Mamá, la piel de gallina, hermano. Piel de gallina. Cagazo. Nadie. Yeah. Nadie. Un montón. Es un montón. Mierda. Y encima nos mira la puta que te parió. chabón. No. Desapareció. La concha.
The moment he saw what was sitting in the back seat, you can tell his entire body reacted. When he lifted his arm to the camera, you could literally count each hair standing straight up. That's not something you fake, that's a full body fear response. But what really got people talking were the details, especially the movement of the face. Whatever was in that car wasn't a reflection, and it definitely wasn't a person hiding inside, because he didn't even take the camera off the car until he reached for the door. And when the head suddenly ducked behind the driver's seat, yeah, reflections don't do that. Now, here's where this gets even more unsettling. This didn't happen in just any location. It happened right outside a hospital, a place where people pass on, where emotions run heavy, where many believe spirits linger the longest before moving on. So the real question is, what exactly entered that car? And why did it wait until he was alone? This one remains a mystery. Now, in this next clip, a lady's dog has been acting out ever since she got a new truck. At first, she thought it was nothing. Maybe he just wasn't familiar with the sound or smell. But the more she paid attention, the more unsettling things became. Have a look.
What is it? What is it? But there's nothing over here.
After watching this clip, some people said it could be the tires. Maybe the rubber was warm, maybe the scent was strange to him. But then a different wave of comments rolled in, questions that made the whole situation feel a lot darker. People started asking whether the truck was actually new, if she knew anything about the previous owners, or if the truck had ever been involved in an accident, because dogs don't usually whine like that unless they're reacting to something they don't understand, or something we can't see. She eventually came forward with an update that surprised everyone. The truck is brand new and she's already checked underneath, inside, and around the engine for any animals or signs of something stuck. Yet, Titus still behaves like this. She also revealed that ever since she brought the truck home, Titus has never agreed to get inside, not even once, and honestly, the comments weren't helping either. People began warning her that dogs can sense what humans can't, and that her dog might be reacting to a dangerous spirit attached to the vehicle. Some even went as far as saying that if she doesn't get it blessed, she could end up in an accident. One morning, Titus wanted to check the garage again, barking and whining in a way she'd never seen before, so she followed him, camera in hand, and here's what she caught. At this point, she has no idea what she's dealing with anymore. And honestly, none of the explanations so far feel comforting. So what do you think? Is Titus reacting to the smell of the tires? Is there a spirit attached to the truck? Or is there something else we're missing? Something that ties all these events together? Now, this next video captures something most people fear more than any regular haunting: a mimic. Mimics are the type of entities people describe as intelligent, calculating, and frighteningly good at imitating the voices of people you know and trust, usually to lure you closer or get you to respond. One afternoon, a lady was home completely alone when she suddenly heard this coming from inside her house. Watch.
Are you there, honey? Open the door for mommy. Bella. Hello. Bella.
The moment people heard that voice, the comment section exploded. Not because of the sound itself, but because of the way she reacted. She didn't panic, she didn't call out, she didn't ask who's there. She stayed absolutely silent. And for good reason. Because when it comes to mimics, the #1 rule everyone repeats is, do not respond. Responding means you're already playing its game. So the fact that she stayed completely quiet is what everyone agrees might have kept this from going much further. Now, in this next clip, the popular Midwest ghost hunter Ian continues his exploration at Bonanzaville, an open-air museum made up of old, fully preserved historic buildings from different eras of North Dakota. In the last video we posted, Ian entered the Telephone Museum, but this time he went to the Brass Rail Saloon in the Page Hotel, said to be one of the most active buildings on the entire property. Built in 1889, this place used to be a bustling stop for travelers. Food, liquor, music, rooms upstairs, the whole deal. But today, it's known for something else entirely. Voices that shouldn't exist, footsteps pacing empty rooms, and unexplained noises that seem to follow anyone who dares explore the second floor alone. Watch this.
Could you do that again? If there's anyone in here, I invite you to come sit with me. I just want to get to know some of the people that are here. I hear that there's a lot of spirits in this building. Could you walk up to this table and sit down with me? I mean, I didn't bring any cards or anything, but I mean, if you've got some, I don't know if you can in the afterlife, but feel free to sit on this table here. Whoa. I just heard that chair move. Holy moly.
Unfortunately, he had his infrared light pointing directly at the camera, making the chair in front of him impossible to see. But the moment he stepped out of that room, something else happened.
Is there anybody in here? Whoa. That came from in there. I think I might have heard somebody in here. Is there anyone in here? Whoa! Oh my God! It's okay. It's okay. I'm not gonna run. Did you just tap on that bed? Oh my God. Oh, Jesus. That scared the living daylights out of me. Holy moly. Dude, that was a freaking voice. I heard it so clear on this voice recorder. Oh, it was a female. It was a female voice.
Ian was almost convinced there had to be someone else inside the building with him, but the footage says it all. He was completely alone. So the question is, who or what answered Ian that night? And why is her voice still echoing through a building that hasn't hosted a living guest in over a century? For more haunting videos including Ian, subscribe to the channel now. In the following video, a man known for being blessed with sight, the rare ability to perceive things beyond the physical realm, visits yet another reportedly haunted house, one that's left its owners sleepless and terrified. They've complained about lights flickering violently in the middle of the night, furniture dragging across the floor on its own, children's laughter echoing through empty rooms, and the constant feeling of being watched from dark corners. Hoping to understand what's been tormenting them, he decided to visit. From the moment he arrived, he began sensing several energy shifts. Watch this.
Maybe some of these objects were haunted. What the f? Yo, this is moving and this is moving. Why isn't this one moving? I'm used to this shit already. You know what I mean? Like, don't follow me home. Can you stop this? Stop it right now. Stop. It's going even faster now. Look at this shit. And this one's perfectly. There's no wind at all. Look at the trees outside.
I don't feel nothing negative though. But anyways, man.
According to him, the more fear a person shows, the stronger the activity becomes. He believes that spirits feed off fear, and that being terrified only invites them closer, almost like they draw energy from human emotion to manifest more clearly. This belief, he says, is what allows him to remain calm and confront the entities head on. But the next house he visited wasn't so quiet. The property's dark history involved a woman and her dog who tragically passed away inside. Ever since, the new residents have reported seeing a woman's shadow moving from room to room, often followed by the faint sound of paws on the hardwood floor. When he arrived at the house, this happened.
Cutting some stuff, but yeah, this is one of the houses. Shit, the hell is it? What the Yo, out with it. Yo, the door just shut on me. So she passed away?
That's why when I'm talking, I'm talking to her because she did that with the other door to me.
Because I've been getting the chills all, like, the whole time I've been here.
Yeah.
And I actually seen a dog, like an apparition of a dog right here. Like a little dog, like yours.
Oh, really?
Right here, yeah, and I was like, right here, right in this area. She had a dog too, huh?
She had a dog, yeah, but I don't know what kind. I think it was a small dog.
Yeah, because I see on jobs, some houses I see things, like some houses they're like with spirits.
Yeah.
Whew, but that door just shut. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, well, I'm used to it by this. I mean, I'm always working in houses that have stuff in them.
Well, I guess because all these homes are old.
They're old and they're by trees. They say trees hold a lot of spiritual stuff in water. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God. So that was the homeowner's family member, and she's also sensitive like me. She sees it too, and she talks. I explained to her, the lady I seen her, she said, yeah, that's her aunt, so I'm not crazy. Anyways, I'm out of respect, I'm gonna stop recording, because that's her aunt and her living relative. God bless everybody.
For those blessed or cursed with sight, reality, and the unseen world overlap. So when he says he saw something, maybe he truly did. But, as always, I'll leave you to be the judge. Now in this next clip, a guy named Josh has been hearing strange noises around his home for several nights. Soft tapping on his walls, doors creaking open on their own, and the faint sound of breathing right behind him whenever he's alone. So this time, he decided to grab his camera and check it out. Watch this.
I keep hearing shit downstairs. Rustling stuff. Check it out. Shouldn't be anybody here but me.
There was somebody in our house. By the way.
Go away.
If you look closely, you'll notice it. a dark figure standing perfectly still. But what really sent chills down everyone's spine was the moment it rushed toward him, followed by the violent force on the door, as if whatever was out there was trying to break through. Some viewers think Josh might be dealing with a shadow entity, a type of spirit said to attach itself to people rather than places, feeding off fear until it gains enough energy to manifest physically. Others think it could be the spirit of someone who died in the home, trapped between worlds, trying to make itself known. But the scariest theory is that Josh may have invited something in unknowingly, and now it refuses to leave. The video sparked a huge debate online about whether or not he should sage the house, but one viewer who claimed to be a paranormal expert took things further. According to them, Josh would need a Reiki master for cord cutting, a shaman for a full blessing, and a physical medium for cleansing and removal. They added that the house should be smudged with sage from top to bottom, starting in the attic and working down to the basement, making sure to cover every reflective surface and window. Every doorway and windowsill should be lined with salt. Afterward, Josh would need to ground himself by standing barefoot in the grass for at least 15 minutes before re-entering the home. Finally, he should use holy water, drawing a cross on his forehead, another on each mirror, and sprinkling it over his bed and the most active parts of the property, and continue smudging daily until proper help arrives. So, what do you think? Would any of that really make a difference, or is Josh dealing with something beyond cleansing?